guys are good to start whenever it starts.
Sounds good.
Do man.
Oh boy, do we have a fun one for you guys. Got Willie B here with me. I'm Ed Knight. If you don't know who I am, who are you? Just kidding.
Hello, everybody. Willie B and Ed Knight from TheCardGuyz here, and much to my dismay, we have a Guardian mirror to show you.
Dude, this is my gameplay. I like how the player on the right, Justin Evans, has his boots in the arm slot and his arms in the boot slot. So just to give you an idea of what a Guardian mirror is like, this is about as many brain cells as we typically use.
I mean, they're both tempered too at the end of the day. Are they functionally that different aside from the quicken? I guess the
I
gloves
mean,
have
no, not
texture,
really.
pummel.
They
That's the
do.
thing.
Yeah, for the pummel, So
Oh, there we go.
okay, now we fixed it. We fixed it. Okay. So we have Tunic on both sides. Justin is playing Sledge. Drake is playing Titan's Fist. And the new shield, specialization shield, makes a gold, or not makes a gold, is a gold, effectively a gold. Can't crack it to draw a card, but you can use it for your Clash redo or your
Look
golden
at
set.
all the
So,
promos he's playing.
oh yeah.
I played against
Oh yeah.
Justin this past weekend, and he mentioned that his Victor has that many tokens underneath because he wants his hero to always be taller and higher than his opponents. So I like the
Of course.
intimidation tactic.
It's not even in like one of those hard slabs. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, interesting. We're playing Sledge and Tunic. Very good combo every third turn. Going to be able to use that Tunic counter in 1 card 6. That usually will get there if you're trying to go a long game. We are going to start with a blue choke slam just for 6. It is a little bit bigger than the
Then the
hammer.
hammer, yeah.
So it makes sense to me. Depends on how many cards. I'm curious how many cards each of these players played. Just a 2 block, no reason to leak damage.
Now I'm not well. I know that's pretty good stuff right there, but I'm not very proficient in the Guardian mirror. Like looking at it from the surface, do you have any inclination on which what do you think's better, the shield and hammer or the sledge?
Oh, it's usually the big hammer. That's
Okay.
usually the one that gets there because you get to capitalize off your go again cards like this E strike. If you chose go again, had Tunic counter, that would be a 3 card 11, just like Anathos with Zealous Belting. He also can play Zealous Belting to just automatically have the 2 into the 4 costs to make an
Oh
11,
yeah, that's
right?
right.
And then your Rouse the Ancients, you have to reveal 2 cards anyway. As long as one of those is a blue, you're still getting that 6 value. So Drake is playing the red Macho Grandes. Okay. I've been thinking about this card a little bit in my Victor list just because Victor has some issues closing out games in general. He doesn't have the free dominate button. So just having dominate stapled to your card, coming in for 10, leaking some damage, that is pretty good. Pretty good.
Not too shabby, I'd say.
So we got Terra Sunder in the pitch. Might see that come up. It's a lot better when you have a bigger hammer. Another reason to run a big hammer. Nothing
Oh
against
yeah.
Drake. I'm sure he's a great player. But in general, my go-to is big hammer. Just keep it
Now,
simple.
that's a great point you bring up about Macho Grande. I'm personally a hater of Macho Grande. I don't think that card should have ever been print. I think it's just pushed. But that's beside the point. The red
No,
one, the his special Victor specialization is a 10 overpower, and 10 dominate. That's also pretty good.
right. Just having more effects like that, being able to close the game. So Justin is going to give 1 card because he can only give 1 card unless he had a D-react an arsenal or something like that. That's going to leak some damage. So we can see life disparity already. You can usually come back and forth. Here we see the Zealous Belting, and we're going to be able to capitalize off of that
You were just
sledge, most
talking about
likely.
Zealous belting into
Yeah,
that sledge. It's perfect math. 2 into 4. As long as you got
very
2
good.
blues.
Save that Tunic counter for later. Okay, we see a paper scene from Drake. pretty good. A lot of times, Guardians in the mirror will throw the civic steps in front of the first Gogan attack because they know they're going to attack with their hammer to try to get maximum value. That's usually pretty good play, depending on the situation. A little riskier against Bravo because they have that dominate, and you might want to have that. But yeah, we see that 6, 2 blues, 11. That is quite good. That is one of the biggest numbers that you can send in Guardian. Only bigger number than that is Pulverize, which I'm sure that Justin is going to be playing a couple of those this game, I can expect. So we got a humble 4.
Hammer for 4.
Now, if Justin is ever left with one card and he doesn't have that tunic, you know what he's doing? A
Oh,
whole lot of nothing.
Drake's reading Sledge. Now I know Drake. Drake's a pretty cool cat. He plays at my Sunday local. Um, he's a good card player. I just don't. I hope he's not like been playing Flesh and Blood forever, but I think he's relatively new to Flesh and Blood. I think so.
Yeah.
That might
I mean,
be why he had to read
Sledge.
that Sledge.
Sure, yeah. Sledge hasn't really been played since Oldham has LL, right? And then even at the end of the Oldham life span, people were going to Anathos. So if he started around that time frame, it makes sense that he's probably never seen the big hammer.
Not to mention it's a Crucible of War card, and that's one of those old sets at this point. You know, the first
Yeah.
3. So
Was that? Yeah, that
might
was
not be
the third
super
one.
well versed with it. There's the pummel. La la.
And there it is. Other benefit of playing Tunic, we've been seeing a lot of Guardians play Tunic nowadays, especially Bravo, being able to capitalize off of your 2-card 8s and your Command and Conquer pummels. So if Bravo can do it, why can't Victor? All right, so that's pretty good. Again, if Drake was on Sledge here, noticing that he's on Tunic for 2, he would just have to pass. Arsenal pass, right?
Yes.
So there is a liability to actually, well, okay, he's on 3. Never mind. But if he was at 2.
Now, I don't know if you remember what he pitched last turn to swing the Titan's Fist, but it was another Rouse. I think he actually probably should have discarded the Rouse to the pummel and kept that disable instead, because now he's just got 2 Rouses right next to each other. But we'll see if we get
That
to
is
that point.
correct. That is correct. That is small considerations to think about if you think the game is going to go a little bit longer. Getting those rouses next to each other, not great, but I know the other 2 cards, if I remember correctly, he pitched a red debilitate and another blue 6. So as
Okay.
long as he draws those next to it, he'll be okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine then.
Okay. Hammer for 6. I can imagine we're going to see this at least a few more times. So we can see in Drake's hand, he has an E strike.
Giving up the
He's
red macho.
opting to block with the macho to keep his hand. We'll see what he's going to do here. Looks like he might go E strike, go again into hammer. That's 9 damage. Or, yeah, 9 damage total. So mathematically, blocking, that's 12, right? So he's doing a 12 card or a 12-point turn cycle. He's doing 9 damage now and blocked for 3. If he had just given 2 cards and then E strike for 7, it's a 13 damage turn cycle and he maintains life total. So that is the kind of thing that I look for when I'm playing against these players and whatnot. Another thing that he could have done too is just sent 4 and then Arsenal the E strike for another chance, right? I do think it's probably right to go ahead and maximize the value that you can every single turn, just because these do turn into a big slugfest, right? We're going to see that forward. This does present 2 additional breakpoints, though. So if you split these later on in the game when they're lower health, it is typically correct because they have to give you more cards, right? So again, we leak 1 more. So he leaked 2 damage. So he kind of gained that efficiency back if you think about it.
That's a great point,
Because he gave 2
actually.
cards.
And now he's just going to hammer again. Raw efficiency.
This is very invigorating right here. Very fun to watch. I say that half sarcastically. I actually do enjoy watching this stuff, but
I enjoy
this,
the efficiency of a hammer swing, just like you're saying. But
oh,
yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. And then with Sledge, what's cool too is if you pitch 2 blues, you always got that 2 floating. So even
you can
late game, you're
always
like,
threaten
oh
pummel.
man, do I play around it? Do I not play around it?
Ah, he expected the arsenal, saved the CNC.
There's the honorary blue of the deck playing the Command and Conquer. Yeah, this is one of my favorite matchups, as boring as it sounds. It's pretty close to playing Farming Simulator, I have been told. But I really do like the back and forth. The old Guardian gameplay back in like Monarch era and whatnot, where we didn't have all these Macho Grandes and stuff like that, like you were talking about. That was some of the most fun Flesh and Blood I have ever played.
Oh yeah,
Because a lot of times you are setting up a super strong second cycle and just trying to outplay your opponent. So I'm hoping that this kind of matchup, this Victor matchup, because he doesn't have the dominate closeout and stuff like that, that it does end up having, you know, a little bit of skill expression here, right?
I agree. I'm very curious to see what Justin has arsenaled. You know, a slugfest isn't the flashiest thing in the world, but it is raw efficiency. It's a battle by numbers, a battle by inches, and
That's right. That's right.
I'm very curious to see how they get there.
So Justin blocked with 2 cards. It was 2 reds. I'm sure he's keeping track of his pitch deck. He's putting 2 blues at the bottom. He's probably going to pop that Terrace under. There you go. You want to see that before you see your other one. That's for sure. All right, back to hammering for 4. Did you catch what Drake had in his hand? What his potential arsenal is?
I whipped. I missed it actually. Did you see it?
I did not see it. I did not see it.
Well,
If I
we'll
had to
find
guess,
out.
it's probably a red.
I would imagine so. Yes.
Imagine a red. And likely to react because we saw a favorite scene. So it seems like Justin, or not Justin, Drake is playing a little bit more defensive cards, and you can see him kind of suffering too because you're adding all these D reacts to your deck, and you're not able to win the clashes as consistently. So Justin just got a free Vigor token. Now
Now, is that off of
his
a Clash
Sledge.
of Vigor?
It is, yes. That is a blue Clash of Vigor. They both revealed. Drake revealed a pummel. Justin revealed an attack. Now he has that Vigor. He doesn't even have to worry about using his tunic if he had 1 card left, for example. So those Vigor tokens are very, very, very efficient. Now, here's the
Look at
value,
that.
right?
Look at that. The
We're
value's
going
there. He gets to
5
save
go
his tunic.
again into 6.
And he
A
could
lot of
even play a 5
people,
cost out of Arsenal if he had it. Probably
right?
wouldn't though.
Yep, yep. He could do that. He could go Spinal Crush if he wanted to.
Oasis Respite, gaining a little bit of life. Okay.
Drake respecting the wizards in his community. You can tell. Now you guys have a lot of good ones.
There was a very good Kano player at this event, as a matter of fact. Oh, and
Wage
a
gold.
Wage Gold. Yeah, you know, that is a card I've heard a few Victor. Oh, hang on. There we go. Heard a few Victor players say that they like, but every time I've played against one that's using it, I'm never that impressed by it. It's on hit draw, which I guess is good if you want to get an arsenal, but seems about the end of it in my
The
opinion.
card is pretty below rate. If you think about it, it's a 7. It's a 3 for 7, right? 2 card 7. Now, same as an E-Strike, but you know what's different about those 2 cards? E-Strike blocks for 3.
Mm-hmm.
We love blocking for 3 in our Guardian deck. Oh, here it is. We got a Command and Conquer. We got Tunic up. We have a billion cards in hand anyway. It doesn't matter, right? So I imagine we're going to see a pummel. We're going to see the fabled double pummel. You can do that with a Tunic counter too. Wouldn't that be nuts?
I mean, he could even tunic double. He could save his tunic counter. He could double pummel just off of a blue here.
Oh, you're right.
Good.
You're right because he has the one floating.
Now,
I'm
I
used
don't
to them playing tech plating.
think he's gonna double pummel, but this is definitely
No, he
a
won't.
slightly scarier CNC than the one that Drake threw earlier.
Yep. I'm surprised he's not giving up his Crown of Providence here because it's almost assuredly a pummel.
Yeah, maybe he's sitting on it. Well, it doesn't matter if he's sitting on a D-React. He'd need another Oasis. So yeah, he probably should have
Right.
given up his crown there.
Right. Yep.
Looks like
I'm
he's
taking
just
4,
losing some
losing a
cards.
card. This is like a baby crippling crush.
Oof. lost
We
his
knew it was
ball.
that pummel because we had that clash, right? So
That's
we're
right.
losing a
That's right.
pummel, losing some consistency, and now we're just going to see a D-React pop in Arsenal. Now, already used the CNC, already seen a couple of those at this point, I believe. So that is a little bit safer in the Arsenal, and you got the insurance Crown of Providence. So here we are back to 11 go again. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. One of the best things in the mirror, people thought in the past, it was like, oh, you just got to have the D-React stop their things. The best thing you can do in the mirror is just go again attacks. It's wild to think about that because they are your less efficient cards when it comes to blocking, typically, like your rousing engines and your zealous belting. But they straight up just win games. So
Oh yeah, going wide is a more annoying thing to block than going tall.
absolutely. Got a choke slam.
Unless it's extremely tall with dominate, but you know.
I have dominated my fair share of
There you
pulverizes
go.
in my
He
day.
blocked 8. And then 4 before that, that's a 12 block hand right there. That's not too shabby.
Back
Hammer
to
for
hammer.
4.
I think he has an unmovable in his hand.
Okay. So he's definitely
Blue
getting onto
unmovable.
the defensive position.
Right. Well, Justin has been doing an excellent job at making sure that damage is pushed, timing his pummels very properly and whatnot.
Oh, and going
More go
wide
again.
every turn.
It's awesome.
Now the what is the block card that makes a gold? What is that called?
Test of strength.
We haven't seen a test of strength at all. I wonder if they play that in the mirror. I imagine they would, but
They for
I haven't
sure.
seen
That's a
it.
card that you typically do not cut.
Okay.
It's just so much value, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
downside isn't that bad because you're blocking, and if you give your opponent a gold, your victor opponent a gold, they do not draw a card. It has to be from their source,
Oh yeah,
right?
so that's especially good. Yeah.
Right. There is a downside, obviously. You know, like you turn on the Golden Suns and you give
Yeah.
them the
Okay.
ability to
Yeah.
just crack a gold and whatnot. Like there is a downside, but at least they don't draw an extra card, right?
Yeah.
We see Command and Conquer in Drake's hand. It'd be nice to have that pummel. Now we're just gonna go debilitate or not debilitate, disable for 9. Justin likes this card. He was saying that he prefers this over Thunderquake as of
That's
right
the
now.
bottom of your arsenal one, right?
Yeah, it's CNC at home, you know? You just
Same
got to deal
cost
4
as
damage.
Thunderquake, but 1 less damage.
No, it's 5. It's a 5 for 9, same stats as Spinal Crush.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I don't hate it.
That's a WTR All-Star right there. Card is
That was a
gas.
banger WTR card. No
Yeah, it
denying that.
was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I love that card, especially in like old Bravo lists. You would have tech plating, and then you can go have 2 blues. You know, you pitch tech plating, then you play this, and then you get to set up your better turn, like 3-card crippling or something after that if you pitch stack it properly and all that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
5 for
it's
9
good
that
stuff.
makes you a
Good stuff.
surge and threatens their arse. That's pretty primo back in those
Yep.
days.
Yep. Same thing with Command to Conquer. That's why that card is so good in both iterations of Guardian with the tunic with tech plating, because if you're playing tech, you get to make a surge, play Command and Conquer. That's 2-card 6, demands cards. If you're on Tunic, it's like, hey, I'm going to pummel this. Like, maybe. You have to play around it. Who's to say one is better than the other? It's pummel. But anyway. All right. So we're losing the Arsenal, taking 6 here. Let's see what he wanted to keep. It looks like a staunch response in hand. Yeah. Okay, he's sending 8 back. That is not quite the math I would go for, but to each their own. Yeah, what probably would have been a little bit better is you know it was coming in for 9. You can give 9 block there, send hammer for 3, still a 12 damage turn. Right now, you're only sending 11 points over your turn cycle because you gave a 3 block into the 8 and you lost your arsenal, right? So it's
Now,
even
that's
more than
only
that if you think
one
about it.
less value. Oh, what? Oh, you lose your arsenal, so it's more than one less value. I
Cor-
take it back. I was
correct.
gonna say one
Correct.
less isn't that bad, but losing the arsenal, that puts it over the top.
Right. Experience shines. No disrespect to Drake, but Justin has played this game beautifully, done everything that he needs to, built his deck properly to, kind of capitalize on the general go again plan that is good in the mirror and whatnot.
Now, have we seen any zealous beltings out of Drake? I know we've seen E-strikes. I don't know
I
if we've
do
seen any
believe he has had to pitch/block with
Oh,
him.
that's right. He pitched one for the Oasis respite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So now we're gonna clash. Do not see what the card. It is a rousing ancients on top of Justin, so
So I
he
imagine Drake probably won that.
did. Yep, he did. So he gets a vigor, and then because he's playing the small hammer, he's not really going to be able to capitalize off of that vigor token unless he
Well,
draws
Justin
a
gave
four
up
for
3
eight or something
cards,
along those lines.
so
He did.
yeah,
He did.
there's a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, there,
Yep.
Tunic doing its job, just like you said.
I think that is like the second time that his tunic has been used this game. Hey, it's the surge when you need it, right?
Absolutely. And it applies to Hammer, because I don't believe
That's right.
Surges do, right? Yeah.
They do not. They do not. Neither
Well,
player has used any of their armor when it
he's
comes
got
to blocking.
Tunic and a Vigor, so he can throw that Spinal for 9 off of 1 blue. That's
Yep.
probably what I would do
I
in
think
his
he has
position.
a red debilitate as well.
I
So
think that's
yeah,
blue.
he
I
opts to
can't
block
quite
with it,
tell.
and now he's going to send that spinal, if I had to guess, just to get that extra damage off. Make it happen. Show me. Yes.
There we go.
See, I know what
Pretty
I'm
good.
talking about sometimes.
So this is 15 value. This is the most value we've seen out of Drake yet. Pretty good value for the turn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is good numbers. Good numbers. That is what Victor is trying to do. One interesting thing about Victor is that if you look at his average math per turn when it comes to block/damage, like attacking over a course of a turn cycle, it's like close to 14. That's like 5 numbers on consistency.
Pretty good.
It is very good. It is higher than Bravo's, but
Now,
you sacrifice having the disruption.
absolutely. And that disruption matters. There's a reason I've been playing Azalea so much lately. I've become addicted to
Yeah.
disruption. It's wonderful. I should have played Icelander back in the day.
Uh-oh. So we see what looks like a blue staunch. Had to pitch 2 reds for that. Alternatively, he could have just blocked with the 2 reds and then kept the staunch response and put that in the arsenal.
Now, I'm not sure
Kind
what
of
the
the
2
thought
reds
process I'm going
were,
with.
but
One of them
I
was
do
a
see your
pummel.
logic there. Okay, okay.
Hmm. And maybe he wants to keep that, but he's at the point where his life total, he doesn't have the ability to really like make a life total pivot to be able to keep a pummel play at this point.
Hmm.
So now he's just kind of having to play this like efficient defense thing.
Now, this might
But
just
yeah,
be
he's just
the angle of the dangle, but it looks like Justin brought in a much thicker deck for this matchup. It does seem like Drake's deck is getting pretty thin, while Justin still has it pretty
yeah,
tall.
I'm
Now that might not be what's actually happening. Maybe somebody's got their cards double sleeved, but I do notice that.
sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know a lot of these victim decks are typically on a lower blue count than traditional Guardian
Hmm.
decks are built. And with that being said, it's kind of a problem to go above 60 because you
Mm.
sacrifice your consistency. But you are playing cards like E Strike. Some people play Sink Below. We've seen Sink Below from both players. So that kind of helps you with that. You got Crown of Providence to filter your hand if you really, 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 really need to get that blue. Because all you really need to do in this matchup until second cycle is send a hammer every turn just to apply
Hmm.
some sort
Hmm.
of deck damage and get cards out of your opponent's hand.
And we see yet
So,
another very red hand from
hmm
our
hmm
Victor player here, just like you were just saying.
yeah. So at this stage, I think the most optimal play is pretty much what he's doing. I probably wouldn't give the armor quite yet, like all of the armor, maybe just one piece of armor and take a couple of damage. But I think this is fine either way because you need to go ahead and start getting the benefit off of those block points. You don't
Now
want to
here,
get caught with your pants down and lose a
Justin
couple of
was
points.
weighing, do I want my pummel to do one less? Probably not, so he's gonna save it.
That's fair.
Uh,
That's
I
fair.
assume at least. I don't know if it's a pummel or not, but those gloves did say, "Hey, that pummel's gonna be a little bit smaller."
Yep, that is a very, very good point. When you throw the gloves in front of an attack that you know is likely to be pummeled, it can save you. I know I
Mhm.
played a game where I've thrown that in front. It allowed me to keep an extra card, and it single handedly won me the game. So new gloves, good investment.
Hmm. Now I'm curious why you don't just throw CNC here. Uh,
Yeah, CNC strands the sink below in his hand and requires 2 other cards. He would have to pitch that sink below with a blue if he wanted to swing his hammer. Drake is getting pretty thin. His stack is, or his deck is lower than his discard, and Justin still
mhm.
has plenty of deck.
Every hammer's just about swinging for lethal. Well, not hammer, attack. I look at
Yeah, it's
every guardian
close.
attack as just another hammer.
Basically, it's just a bigger hammer. That's all it is.
Yet
There is not an
again,
attack
there
in the
could
deck
be
that,
another chance for pummel here.
yeah,
Now,
there's
I
not an
think it's
attack
an
in the deck that
Oasis
swings less than
Respite
4.
in his arsenal, which will play around pummel and gain him a life, which is kind of
That is
nice.
correct. That's correct. He
But he'll
does have
still
that.
take a hit unless he blocks for a certain. Yes, yes.
Hmm. Now, you
I
probably
might
won't
give up
use that
civic
respite.
steps here if I were here. Probably not. Okay.
No, 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 no. I wouldn't give Civic Steps here.
Oh, well, there you go.
The problem with Civic Steps, and we might see the fabled double hammer play, because if you read closely at Sledge of Ampelheim, it does not
Ooh,
say once per turn attack.
I think
It
that
does
might be what
not.
Justin's playing to here.
So if he keeps 3 blues in his hand, he can just go 6 into 6. That is strong. 3 card 12. He's been doing 3 card 11, and that was good enough.
He's gonna get a little bit higher.
Oh man, I can't wait. Please
Oh,
do
he's
it, Justin.
definitely doing it. That's why I gave that up. I was gonna
Oh,
ask you
this
before
is
this moment,
awesome.
have you had a moment in a Guardian Mirror where the Quicken token really gave you
100%.
some momentum? And it looks like it might be
100%.
happening right now.
Yep. Oh, oh,
Oh, he's doing it. He's
yes.
so doing it.
Yes. No, I love this.
I hope we
This is
call
so
this
good.
video double sledge. Or no, that wouldn't make any sense, but something like that. I wonder how many people have swung the sledge more than once in a turn. Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
great.
Okay.
It's great. It's super fun. Please. Yes.
Yes.
I bet Drake, he's gonna flip that card around again just to make sure.
He might have noticed it
I
the
would
first
too.
time, or maybe Justin said it out loud, but that's
Yeah,
great.
fair. That's fair.
That's so good. 12. 12 off of sledge.
Yeah,
That makes it look like the best weapon in the game right there.
yeah. It was very good in that turn cycle for sure.
That turn really made it shine.
Oh my god. Oh, that
If they ever give us a guardian
that's
that
what you
somehow
want,
is good at producing action points, watch out.
bro. There's no shot. Get out of here. No shot. Everybody's gonna be on double Titan's Fist just smacking you.
Man, it's so funny. I think there's been plenty of turns that were just sledge swing, but like he's done more than one thing a turn. So many of these turns, and it
He's had a lot
shows
of
in
go
the
again.
health.
So we can see we're in second cycle now. We're getting to those Rousey engines. We will probably not see another turn that isn't just something like massive from Justin, because he's been setting up his pitch deck beautifully. All the good things. Oh my god, holy 2 blocks.
There's those two rouses coming back to roost.
Yeah, yeah, we knew it. We knew it was there.
Yeah, you were right. The two reds came with it, so there was the potential to do a pretty nasty turn there if he was able
Yep,
to keep his
yep,
cards, but Justin
it was
did not let
possible.
him.
All right, Justin, what are you doing?
Is this a match where Crater Fist maybe be a little bit better? Let's see. What's he swinging here? Okay, so it wouldn't apply to this
Big
attack, but that's still pretty good.
macho.
Big Macho's pretty scary.
God, it is such a liability to block with those civic steps. against the sledge deck. It's
Oh,
crazy. When they have a
against
life lead like
Sledge, that's
this,
bananas. Like,
it's nuts.
you just can't let them get a 12 value turn. That effectively made those shoes block for like -4.
Yeah, basically. Jesus. Yeah, once I saw that block, I was like, "Oh no."
This is
You gotta
trouble.
throw it in front of the go again attacks. Like that is the point, so they can't like
Yes,
capitalize off of
yes.
the yeah.
Because you can't let them just sit on it. Like, ooh, I can make a
Oh
plan
yeah.
off of this.
Yeah. All right. Another big boy macho, Golden Sun, anything. Well, he doesn't have gold.
Is that
I don't believe I've seen a test of strength from
a
Justin.
zealous belting? Okay. There we go. Cashing in those on the very
See, look,
first go again. You get a
this
chance
this
to.
is how you do it. That's how you do it.
I mean, a Macho or a Golden Sun, and Drake's in pretty big trouble at this point. Now
Doesn't
that
really
is
even
one
have to use his
thing.
armor
Yep,
at this
yep, yep.
point, but
No, having a pretty efficient turn cycle here, but it's just so far behind at this point. It's probably too little, too
yeah,
late.
yeah. Big hammer would have been a little bit better. Just a touch. All right. 4-card hand, what do you gotta do? Big macho, pulverize, something crazy. Macho. There it
Macho.
is. Oh,
Now,
I think we see a D-react in hand. We
ooh,
have a staunch, so we're able to cover it up.
that's pretty good.
Take 2. I think it's a blue staunch, so that is not the worst. Go to 1, still survive.
Still surviving, still swinging that hammer. Now, I
Smack him
know
back.
in the
Okay, he's
Lexi
going down
mirror,
fighting.
you could just taking 1 on that past one. In the Lexi mirror, you can actually come back, maybe not from 2, but from like 9 to 17. You can definitely turn it
Oh,
around and
yeah.
turn it and pull off a comeback. In the Guardian mirror, is that really possible? If you're behind by that
Nope.
much, is it pretty much curtains?
Pretty much. Pretty
Okay,
much.
yeah, that makes sense.
Unless you can, like, if you have a 10-point disparity, right? But you're not at 2. Like, you have to be at, like, 10 to 18 or something like that.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you are taking damage to send something like a Command and Conquer Pummel, that's crippling. Like, that's
Okay,
huge,
so
right?
something
So
like that could
that's
maybe swing you
fine.
back, but okay.
Right, right. Like, Command and Conquer Pummel, and then you have a D-react to Arsenal to cover up whatever they do with their 1-card hand, and then you just
Then
like,
you're
okay,
back in
now
there.
I have my go again attacks. Now I'm sending 11. All you did was 4 last turn type thing. So we're
Okay.
staunching.
Staunching with the whole hand to stop a sledge. That is trouble, but Drake
That's
is running out of
right.
options.
Right.
Now, Justin's deck is starting to get a little thin, but it's just not comparable.
Oh,
So,
Drake's deck is gone.
oh,
Whole
it's pretty
thing's
much
gone.
gone. Yeah, he's down to fumes in that tank.
Mm-hmm. Just an 8. 8's pretty good when you're at 2. That says give me 3 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, let's say Drake had 20 more cards than Justin at this point, he would deck faster than Justin would, just with this sort of math. Just because you have to expend so many more cards as the defender here, right? As long as
Absolutely.
Justin keeps sending like 8s or 7s, that's 3 cards a turn for sure. We have not seen very many gold.
Yeah, no.
All right,
Has
here it
any
is.
gold? Well, there you go. That's trouble. Has any gold been made
This
this
is it.
game? I'm not sure that any was.
There was a what was it? I think it was a test. Right? No, there was no gold.
That's so funny.
Because they're taking out their block cards. All the clashes have been Clash of Figures.
That's true. Yeah, we haven't seen any of the Testamites or anything like that.
And that is interesting.
Oh, Spinal Crush, and that should just about do it. Yep,
That's it.
and there's the fist bump.
That is enough damage.
You know, well played from Drake. I think that there was some slightly below the average value that he would have maybe liked to have gotten, but I think he was playing to certain outs. It's just Justin came in here with a bit of an edge, a bit more know-how on the match, and it showed.
Yeah, both players played pretty well. I think there was a deck construction advantage on Justin's side. I think his
Mhm.
deck was built very, very well to be able to play in the mirror like that. Again, like I said, the defense reactions to a lot of people, they think that's how you beat a Guardian. It's really not. It's really not. But good stuff. Appreciate
Very
these
good
guys
stuff.
playing, giving us a good, awesome little turn cycle of double sledge. That was fun. You got anything else to say, Will?
No, probably just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. This is brought to you
Absolutely.
by Magnolia Gaming, brought to you by Dragon Shield, brought to you by Fabric. Just love that they're here to support us, and we're here to try and support the whole community in any way that we can. And we just appreciate you guys for supporting us, and thanks so much for everything y'all do.
Absolutely. Yep. Magnolia Gaming has just re-upped their stock, so they have singles on their website. You can use their affiliate code down below. Helps us out to help you out. Get all the product that you need. Fabric.gg. I use that to figure out what people are doing all the time. Go on there, click my hero, say, what are people playing in Victor? Oh, they're playing Sledge over Anathos. Who knew? Right? Lots of good stuff to use for those. And then Dragon Shield. Obviously, everybody uses Dragon Shield sleeves. Those are my favorite. Lagoon, Dragon Chills. If you want to be like me, get the Lagoons. Dual mat. And then we got Card Culture as well. Card Culture. We love them. They are us. We are them. Got some good stuff. But either way, that's us signing off. Appreciate you
Signing
guys watching.
off, Willie B and Eddie Knight.
Yes, sir.
We got to call that